Many people see giving a TED Talk as something out of reach, like it's only for special people. But what if I told you that that's not true? What if I told you you don't need to be famous, you don't need millions of followers, and you don't need a crazy idea? All you need is your story. And in this video, I'll tell you how I did it and why you can do it too. It was July 2024 when I saw a post from TEDx Mindelo calling for speakers. I didn't hesitate for a second because giving a TED Talk had been a long life dream. In fact, in 2023, while standing on that stage, but this time for a video production, I said to myself,
I've always wanted to be on a TEDx stage. It will happen, hopefully next year.
At the end of July, I received an email that made my heart jump. Congratulations, you have been selected for the next round. Suddenly, I was one step closer to that TEDx stage. But now came the real challenge, submitting my pitch. It was mid-August when I recorded my video application, explaining my idea, and I sent it off. Okay, it's September 7th, 2024, and I got some good news. I have been selected to be shortlisted for the final round of speakers for TEDx Mindelo 2024. As you know, or maybe don't know, speaking and giving presentations is really something it's really a passion of mine. And being able to give a TED Talk has always been my dream. The dream has never been as close as now. So I need to fill in some form right now. Well, let's see. Then I waited again. And early September, I finally received the email I had been dreaming of. You have been selected as a TEDx speaker. The first thing I knew for sure is that I wanted to give this TED Talk with the title, Become the Creative Director of Your Reality. I truly believe that everybody has the power within themselves to change their reality. And in this talk, I really wanted to use that combination of using your creativity and your smartphone and combine that to change basically your life. So, to kick off the event, the TEDx team organized a meeting where we got to meet all the speakers, the people of the organization, and also the mentors. So the mentors were appointed to each of the speakers to help them in preparation for their talk. And for me, I was appointed to Wesley dos Santos, which is a two-time TED speaker, a big entrepreneur, and a very good friend of mine. I didn't spend that much time with Wesley because it was a very, very busy period in my life, but he gave me the most valuable advice, and that was make it personal, add some humor to it, and most importantly, make it relatable, and especially to the people in Cape Verde where the event was going to happen. The reason why this advice was so important to me is because I didn't just want to be on that stage just telling my story. No, I wanted people to feel connected with me, to feel related to my story, and eventually get them inspired to get the best out of themselves. But while I was preparing for this story, things didn't unfortunately go as planned. So my grandma got hospitalized, and 10 days before the talk, she passed away. This was one of the hardest moments in my life. And to make it even worse, it turned out that the funeral was going to be one day before my TED Talk in Cape Verde. So I had to choose. Am I going to stay in the Netherlands to attend the funeral? Or was I going to Cape Verde to honor her on that stage? And that decision was not easily made, but I know what I had to do. I was going to Cape Verde to honor her on that stage because she is the reason I have all this creativity flowing through my veins. And there's no better way to pay a tribute to her by inspiring people about the topic of creativity in her home country. Once I arrived in Cape Verde, I got to meet the TEDx team, I saw the venue, and I also even got a radio interview. This was in the Cape Verdean language, in Creole, which was challenging, but it went very well. And at the end of everything, I even got the chance to practice on the stage. But to be honest, I don't like to practice my story too much because I prefer to tell from the heart. So I practiced only once, just to be sure that I was in between that 17, 18 minutes limit that you have for a TED Talk. I know some people like to rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. That's also good. Eventually, everybody does what he or she feels best with. But for me, because I've been presenting a lot for my previous job and I've been doing this all around the world, I try to stick to my own kind of way. So even though it's a TED Talk, I didn't try to think like, oh my God, it's a TED Talk. It's more difficult than all the things that I've done in my life. No, it's just the same stage, the same Jessy telling his story. So for me, that worked the best. Then it was the day of the event. The event was split into 2 parts. You had the first part before the break and the second part after the break. I was scheduled as to be the first presenter after the break. So yeah, sorry for the others, but I didn't visit the first part of the TED event. I really took the time to sleep, to eat my well-deserved cachupa, hang out with my girlfriend, and basically be fully focused before the big moment. I still remember when I was there backstage. My heart was pounding, but it was not out of fear. It was really because of excitement, a healthy excitement. I saw people dancing. It got me happy. I don't know what this feeling was, but it was special. And then I heard them telling an anecdote about me, and they called my name. I took a deep breath, and I walked on that stage.
And I truly believe that everybody of you can become the creative director of your own reality. Thank you.
When I finished speaking, the audience stood up. I got a standing ovation, and the presenters came to me to hug me. But at this very moment, I must also say all my emotions from the past period came out. The loss of my grandmother, the pressure of this talk, keeping up with all these client deadlines. It was like everything fell off my shoulder. I admit, I cried like a baby, but it felt good. I was so grateful, and it touched me even more by looking into the audience and see how my words were able to touch people. I saw so many emotions, and after the talk, people came to me to tell me how much I inspired them. Even a girl came to me crying, telling me that she wanted to give up on creating, but that something sparked in her when I talked about it. And you know, for me, that's the most important part. I always say, if I at least can inspire one person in the room with my story, my mission is accomplished. And I must say, my mission was accomplished that day.
And if I could do it, so can you. There are hundreds of TED Talks happening worldwide, and they are actively looking for speakers. TEDx isn't reserved for some elite group of people. It's for anyone with a story that can spark change, and that includes you. If you have a message that can inspire people, apply. Find a TEDx event that speaks to you, send in your pitch, and most importantly, be yourself.
Looking back, this was one of the biggest highlights of my life. But I'm not talking about being on stage. It was not because of the TEDx logo behind me, but it was because my words touched people. It was because my story made impact. It was because I could inspire others, maybe even you, to take action. So if you take one thing out of this video, let it be your story is worth sharing. And you don't need to wait for permission to tell it. So go out there and make it happen. So after this video, you're curious for my TED Talk? Click here, and I'll see you in the next one.